Magandang gabi, magandang umaga mga Pinoygraphers. Ito po si Red Andal.
At ako naman si Carlo. Welcome sa PGCast, ang weekly Pinoygraphers webcast.
Yo.
Welcome sa PGCast. Kamusta, Red?
Okay naman. Ikaw, Carlo, kamusta?
Eto, okay naman. Pero ang bagong lahat, doon sa mga hindi pa nakakapanood ng mga iba nating episode, you can visit live.pinoygraphers.com. Andyan lahat ng mga past episode natin. Alright, Red, excited ka ba sa guest natin ngayong gabi?
Yeah. Actually, kinakabahan ako eh. Pakinggan mo. Tugdug. Alam mo bakit? Kasi medyo baka magka-nosebleed tayo. Inglesan to, Carlo. Inglesan.
Oo nga, maraming Inglesan na ngayon.
Yeah.
Oh, kaya nga maraming Inglesan. Kaya nga it's a special show tonight. Bigatin tong guest natin. Tonight we'll be chatting with a person responsible for bringing one of the best image editing software and probably the most indispensable editing tool ng mga photographers. Siyempre, alam niyo na yun. Photoshop. He is the Senior Creative Director of Adobe Systems and Emmy Award winner din siya noong 2008 and a Photoshop Hall of Famer noong 2002. Educator and siyang original Photoshop evangelist. As most of you have noticed, we have the Adobe Max and it's about wrapping up today. And we're really glad that he is actually joining us today. Really appreciate it. Without further ado, let's all welcome Mr. Russell Brown.
Hello, gentlemen. I have my protective shield on. Just to, here in this COVID situation, I have created this special shield today. A little bit striking.
It's so fun.
I'm ready. I think, is it safe to come out? Can I come out?
Yes.
Okay. It's safe.
You're behind the screen, so we're good.
It's safe to come out. A pleasure to be here. Yes, Max has just ended today. It was a huge success, really exciting stuff, and I think Adobe's in trouble. I think we're going to have to do a live free version every year. I think that what do you think?
That is awesome.
Well, no, I did not make that public announcement. I'm just saying that it worked so well that why wouldn't we continue that and have a live portion where you can go to the location, but it's broadcast as well. So I think
I was actually watching this afternoon. I watched a couple of segments of the Adobe Max. It's really good. I have a couple of favorite personalities in there, and I checked the guest list or there's a page there.
Yes.
In Adobe Max where you can see all the speakers. I think there's like hundreds in there.
Yeah.
So many.
And you're not turned away at the door from a very popular event. I don't know if you gentlemen you've been to the actual show.
I've been in a couple of them before. So it's what's great about now is like you cannot not miss anything.
Yeah.
You're always there. You're always watching. You're always going to be sort of in control of what you want to see.
And you can replay it.
And if the presentation's just a little bit slow, you can walk out of the room without being seen.
Right. Exactly. So before anything else, this is Red, my co-host. I'm Carlo, and then there you go. We have Russell here.
And pleased to meet you, Russell. And just so you know, just to give you a little bit of background of our group, so we call ourselves Pinoygrapher. Would you have an idea where that word came from?
Pinographer.
Yes.
Does it have anything to do with pine trees?
No. Good guess because it's a P-I-N.
I cannot guess. What is a pinographer?
I'll give you a little bit of a history then.
Wait. Is it pineapple?
No, well, kind
Nah.
of. There's lots of pineapples in the Philippines. But so Carlo and I were both from the Philippines, and as we told you earlier, our audience are in the Philippines and in outside the Philippines.
Yes.
As you might not know, but Filipinos were all over the world.
Yes.
We're present everywhere. So in every place in the world, there's a Pinoygrapher. What that means is Pinoy is a slang for Filipino. So when you see a Filipino, you call them Pinoy.
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 I don't know. Can a white guy say that?
Yes, why not?
Why not?
It's nothing bad with that. Yeah,
Oh,
you can.
Nothing wrong
You
with
can
it. Yeah.
Pinoy.
I don't know. These
Yeah.
days.
These days you got to be safe, but with us Pinoys, we're proud of it. So you call Filipinos Pinoy. So when we started this group like 13 years ago in Orange County in California, it's a group of Filipino photographers. So we combine the Pinoy, which is Filipino, and photographer, Pinoygraphers. That's why we have this group. That's why we have Pinoygraphers. Just a little bit of history.
A little bit nugget of history. And then speaking of history, let's go back to you, Russell.
Way back? How far back?
Well,
35 years? 35
years back.
So, I'd have to grow more hair. I've got wigs for that. Yeah. Okay.
So, bring us back.
It's 35 years ago. It's 1985, and I've just joined Adobe. Is that what you want?
Yes. Plus the fact also, some of us might have known already that, hey, we know who the Knoll brothers are. We know Adobe. We know what happened in between. But when they first showed you the software, what went through your mind?
That's 1989. It's probably February of 1989, and we're John Knoll. John Knoll, of course, works at Industrial Light and Magic, which is now Disney, and he's, of course, working on such simple things like Mandalorian, simple.
It's simple ones.
Yeah, nobody watches Mandalorian, and so he's the guy behind that. But he's also the guy behind Photoshop. And you have to realize, you and I, we would not be sitting here, gentlemen.
No,
I would not be sitting here. Adobe would not be here if it wasn't for John Knoll, because we always talk about Thomas. We have Thomas did the programming.
Yeah.
But John did the marketing, and he's the one who came to Adobe and presented it to Adobe. His brother would not have done that. His brother would have just finished his doctorate, and he would not have created a Photoshop application unless his brother needed the tools for the movie The Abyss.
You're right.
Yeah, it's 1987, and you have to have you're producing The Abyss, and so you need some technology. And so John Knoll had his brother write some code so he could reflect light into this 3D blob, this water, what did they call it? The water spout, the water something, the water wiggle, the water column. And so that was the first use of, I guess, Photoshop.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
And when he presented to you, because like Adobe back then was more of a typeface company, illustrator, and you weren't a creative director, right?
So I started as a creative director, and I sort of mutated into sort of a presenter, and this sort of
the party man.
Yes. And so I'm doing the annual reports, the packaging for fonts and Illustrator. I'm doing what a graphic designer would do in any corporation, all of the marketing materials. and then slowly went on to more and more stage stuff and more presentations and tutorials. Tutorials just became sort of a part of your life. You had to, nobody knew what Photoshop was, so you had to give a tutorial. So I guess, I'm doing the very first Photoshop tutorials in the world.
I think you did.
I think I did. Let me think about that.
We're in good company, Carlo.
Yeah. And so, good. Yeah, I'm a wild man. So where were we? We went back in time. We met John Knoll.
We were John Knoll.
We saw it for the first time. My eyes got 10 times bigger, because what I saw was the ability for the common man, the common person, to be able to alter images, and you didn't have to have a mainframe computer, and you didn't have to have, one of these big, huge monster machines that none of us could touch. Of course, if you had, $600 an hour is what you would pay to sit behind someone and tell them where to move the mouse.
I remember because
$600 an hour. I want that job. So that's what it represented back in 1989, and also it represented everything that Adobe was looking for. We had typography and text. We had graphics with Illustrator. What are we missing? We're missing imaging, so you can make a page. So typography, graphics, and images were all the elements necessary to make a page on a laser printer. And 1989, 1990, the laser writer is coming out. And so all of the components came together, and John Warnock knew exactly what he was doing. He made the right moves at the right time.
Yeah, because I remember I started using Photoshop in 96. I was an online editor then, so I was using Quantel boxes, Paintbox, Henry's, and all that. Yes, sir.
Wow.
And then when Photoshop came in, it was introduced to us, and it was being packaged with a Quadra 950.
Oh, did you realize how slow quad?
Yeah. So we with Media 100. So when I saw it, I was doing all the paint boxes and everything was real time. And then there's this software on a computer. I'm working on a thousands and thousands of dollars of machinery, and here is a software that's inside a computer for about a quarter or less than, I don't know how much. It was and it can pretty much
$1,000.
It's a $995, I believe, back then in 96.
They're a bit more expensive now. Their computers are a bit more expensive now.
Yeah. Oh, the Quadras are, when we got it before, the Quadras were about, I guess, $3,000 for that, for the Quadras. And then the software itself. But the thing is, it changed the way I used, I did graphics for broadcast, and it's like it was amazing.
Unfortunately, perhaps not for the better, you could now do your work at home and work till midnight, whereas working on your large mainframes was a little bit more difficult because you had to do that at the office, right?
Right, office, and then at the same time you have to, you're being paid by the hour, so they won't let you work overtime. That's much. But now that we've gone through. What I want to also ask you, what was the first thing, or what was the first image that you created on Photoshop? Was it with a camera or with
no? Let me think. I might have scanned something. I think I was using existing images. It was very difficult to get an image onto your computer. We had no simple way. I know what I did. It's all coming back to me now. I was using something called a Barney scan back then. And I would put slides in, and I would scan the slides into my computer. That's how I got things. There was no online resource for images. There was no digital cameras available. Everything was scanned from a slide. And then based upon the scanner, boy, and I had every imaginable scanner. I had Kodak scanners, Nikon scanners, the Barney scanners, slide scanning. And then if you remember back, we were also, what was the big thing you had to do? You had to remove dust and scratches from the negative.
Yes, yes, I remember those.
Big time. And, you know, the world back then was very different. The world wasn't a online share your images on Instagram world. It was printed on a web press. Yeah, you had to go to CMYK to print anything and share anything.
It was a slower world then.
Yeah, it was a very slow world, but
a lot slower.
It was sloping very quickly. And our lives changed very rapidly. If you remember, the earliest digital cameras were analog cameras, actually, and then came a true digital camera, and then photographers got pretty serious, and then they started, you know, boom, it just exploded.
It just happened, yeah. Well, which brings me going back and fast forwarding 35 years later up to now. I was watching some of your lectures or your presentations. You said in Instagram there is 1.4 seconds. You're given 1.4 seconds.
You saw that?
So look at. Yes, I did.
I think it's less now.
Oh, really?
I wonder how, you know, people are like, how quickly do we, as we're thumbing through, do we really put one? Maybe it's 1.4. Okay, that's not very fast, is it? But you're evaluating whether you like something or you don't like it within that much time, and then you're out of there. And I'm very stingy with my likes, and
yes,
likes are like gold, and comments are platinum. I prize and cherish a comment much more than a like. That's interesting. What it is when I go on to Instagram, what am I looking for when you first come on? Do I have any comments? And then I immediately go to the comments. I'm not sure I always trust the number of likes, because you can look, you'll see that maybe 1,000 people looked at your image, but I'm finding that just a certain percentage of people like it, unless you really go over the edge and you come up with something remarkable that just grabs their attention, and that's what I'm striving for. I'm striving to get their attention.
How do you know if the one that you created like today or this morning would garner like a comment? Like, how do you know that it is that's it?
As you're looking at an image, and maybe you agree with this, all of a sudden you're working on an image and you go, wow. Oh, and you glance away for a moment, or you come back to an image that you've been working on, and you get this sort of snap, like you look at it and you go, wow, that's cool. That has something going for it. You know that how people are going to react, but I also don't know how they're going to react. I was surprised sometimes. I'll casually put up an image, just like throwaway. Here's a throwaway image, and then everybody really likes it.
I guess there's no pattern, Russell? There's no pattern on what people like and don't like. Maybe also one of the things that we see is like the timing, like when you make your post, like that affects the likes and comments.
I think that's true. When you are, it's true about when you post something, but it's also true that their reactions from your followers are always looking. How many times? How many? Are you looking at your phone? How many times do you pick this thing up and check your Instagram feed? Are you as bad as I am, gentlemen? Is it how?
Well, the thing is, this is a lot of people is what they do. They check, but they check who like me, not to check other people's work. So, right? more is like you check, like you made a post, you check and check. Did anybody comment? Did anybody like? But you're looking at your shot, not their
Yeah.
shot. So and also where I kind of wanted to lead into to Russell was like,
Yes.
I was listening to you guys earlier, 35 years, and from now, I can see the difference from then to now. And Adobe, I was watching, like I said, Max earlier today, and Adobe has made these softwares so very easy to use that there's so many creators now. In the past, you need all these computers that you're talking about, this access to this software. Now everyone can have it. Even the Adobe Lightroom, which we're going to go later on too. Everyone now has access to this, and everyone now can be a creator. And that's why the chances is that what you're saying, the 1.4 seconds that you like, even for big, like in the past, like big guys, they're in the same playing field as the newbies because they have the same access to the software. And one of the new features I saw earlier was the neural filters, and they're like, wow, I can be like a professional photographer like in a week or so, right? So Adobe gave that kind of level the playing field. What can you say to that, Russell?
Well, I don't think a computer can soften the playing field. But gentlemen, I think raw talent still wins the day. I think you can't become a photographer overnight. You have to spend that classic 10,000 hours of photography to become a photographer. You're pointing the camera, you're creating the light, you can bring that to Photoshop. I think that the computer is still a tool in this process, but my personal view is that there's talent and then there's this tool that helps you express your talent. So
certainly.
I think Adobe can come out with the Sensei technology and the ability to make someone look younger or make someone look older. I must admit, I must have spent hours trying to make someone look younger and making them look older. It was actually for a project, the early days of Photoshop. They wanted me to show what could you do with this technology. And so their classic, interviews. Imagine an interview in 1980, or 1990. A television station will come in and they want to see something really dramatic,
Right.
Make the producer look old. And so it was the classic, so you made the producer look old, and it's really striking. Took a long time. So yeah, we've got that technology to do that. If I need that technology, if I need that particular feature, I'll go use it. But I'm not going to use that one on every day. But it's nice to know I have that tool available to me. I'm a much more of a fan of the black and white conversion to color.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Now we're talking, because we've all gone in and painted a color overlay inside of Photoshop, and this gives you just run this and it gives you a starting point, which then you could then go in and be even more creative on top of the starting point. I think that's also true with selection capabilities that are happening now, like select subject, select sky. Now there's another one.
Sky replacement. Yeah.
Sky replacement. Okay. Yeah. I am not a purist, and I will change a sky. I will alter things to make them look better, as long as they look real. And our sky replacement is really quite well done. A bit scary.
Right. Scary,
Yeah, I contributed some skies. I had a large collection of sky photographs that I've collected over the years. And so there's a collection of clouds in that set. I don't know. I don't think I wanted them to call them the Russell Brown collection. I don't think I got away with that.
They should.
They should have.
They should. They should.
So,
I just thought of a question for you, Russell. Are you
Okay.
primarily a photographer or a Photoshop
Wow.
person?
Well, gentlemen,
Mhm.
I'm going to reveal to you today
Yes, please.
that after 35 years at Adobe, I've decided to become a photographer.
Wow.
I've decided that's my new. Yeah, I was a graphic
What camera
designer.
do you have
What-
right now, Russell?
Say that. I missed that one, Red.
What camera do you have right now? What camera do you use?
Good question, Red. Which leads us into the only camera I use are mobile phones.
Oh my
So
gosh.
I use an iPhone 11. I was going to call this a 12, but it's not yet. The 11 Pro Max, and I use a Pixel 4 currently. I use the Google Pixel 4 for night photography, and the iPhone for daytime photography. I'm currently shooting strobe portraits. Now, in the past, I've hired photographers to join me at events. I've worked with Greg Gorman, very famous photographer, Joel Grimes, a variety of other photographers, and I've had to come in and set up their lights, and they take photographs. And I don't know if you've seen my website. I like to dress up in costumes and outfits, and they would take photographs of me. But now I'm really intrigued by strobe photography with a phone. Okay, yeah, you go. Tell us about that, Russ.
I want to see that.
I've got to see that. I haven't.
So, this is you want to see? I'm prepared, gentlemen.
Oh, okay.
This is the first strobe that synchronizes with your phone, and they're from Pro Photo, and this one costs. Oh, sorry, I keep on talking over you, Red. What was that question?
No, it's my first time seeing that. It's actually the other way. I keep talking over you because I'm so impressed with what you're saying.
So this is the Pro Photo. It says the low end. It has little modifiers that go on the front. Very well designed. From a Swedish company, and so this is around $250. Goes and synchronizes with the phone. But I recently discovered big boy toys. So this is called the Pro Photo B10.
Does it sync with your phone?
Yes.
Wow.
So all the photographs, all my portraits on my site, I suppose we could switch to my site.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
Hold on while I bring up. Where did it go? I'm looking for it now. Oh, here it is.
Pro Photo can actually sync to your phone. That's insane.
So I'm just bringing up my website. I'm bringing up my Instagram, and by the way, I'm bringing up Instagram, and no one has left me any comments.
Oh, no.
But okay, gentlemen, we go to the screen share.
Yes.
Screen sharing. Then we target the application, and we target the Russell Brown. And gentlemen, can you see my Instagram page?
There you go.
Yes.
Okay. So all of my portraits on this are all photographed with the strobe, and even myself. Now, look, I can get more likes than these two good-looking people.
Because they want to see you, Russell. It's you.
What's that? Everyone prefers if I photograph myself, and so I've taken on different characters. Here I am as Andy Warhol. And I'm mimicking a famous photograph by Greg Gorman.
Greg Gorman. Yes.
Yeah. And then the other day, I wanted to be a surfer and actually be a surfer. A shaper is what it's called, the person who shapes the surfboards. And so I went on, took this look. And so I have my strobe with a softbox on it, and my phone out. And gentlemen, this is entirely an iPhone shot, and with enough power, you have enough power in your strobe, you can get some amazing shots. Where are my other portraits? This one. This is, and I'm doing these as selfies. Do you realize how difficult it is to take a selfie of yourself when you have bandages around your face?
That is awesome.
That's. I'll give that guy, Russell. So
wait for it. My favorite's coming up.
Go ahead.
My favorite. I gotta find my favorite. You can see some. Okay, that one's good. Oh, gentlemen, this.
Oh, that one. That's my favorite. That's my favorite.
I can you believe this? I go online and I bought this faux jacket, this leather jacket, on Amazon just for this photo. Because I knew I had to have this leather jacket, this James, sort of old James Dean look, I suppose.
You have, yeah.
So
wow.
So come back here. Let's stop sharing. So I've just gone strobe. I've gone strobe and iPhone crazy. So, and I want to be known as the mobile phone photographer. And I don't, and I see it as being a purist, but only with phones. Mm-hmm. And that way I'm known for that. And then I can surprise people with photographs that you did that with a phone. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I think it limits. You don't have all the capabilities that you would. Right. I think with a limitation, you do better work. Tie one hand behind your back, and okay, now do something where you have something. You don't have all of the capabilities that everyone else has to take a photograph. I'm not a Greg Gorman. I don't have all of his setup, but gosh, I've got some pretty good lights.
Is it? Yeah, is it like the limitation? Is it like shooting film? Because when you're film, you're sort of limited to a certain degree that you don't see it.
The better. Oh, I'm about to say something.
Oh no!
Be careful. I think the more you have to think about the photo, the better the photo. And with technology, just automatic exposure. No, what am I saying about myself? With automatic exposures and everything, it makes you have to take too many photos. You're not really thinking about it. I bet that Ansel Adams probably took 5 containers of film with him to capture a shot in Yosemite, for example. He's got 5 plates with him. Mm-hmm. He's only got 5 plates.
Yeah, that
really has to think about it. And we have 2,000. We can shoot as many as we want. And so he thought very carefully about every shot. And I think that's one of the issues today. We don't think enough about our shots.
Yeah.
And so I must admit, I have to take 100 shots to get the one shot I like. No, I guess I am appearing in my own photographs. I'm using a little clicking device. I click like on the device.
Yeah.
A remote.
So you have a trigger there, Russell?
Yeah. And then I go around and I look at myself and I think, okay, this is starting to look good. The lighting's right. And then I'll sit there.
Yeah.
I'll pose and hit the clicker several times. Where was I going? I think where I was going was the moral of the story is I think shooting with film is a good limitation. It's 36 images in a roll or something. You have to think
about it.
And, thinking is a good thing to do when it comes to photography. Yeah.
So after you shot it, like you saw it, you're scrolling through it. Okay, this is the shot I want. What happens next? Does it go? Where does it go?
What's
in my work?
Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm totally. I don't ever want to see another disk drive in my life. I've had it with disk drives that have failed. Gentlemen, I knew about SideQuest and
SideQuest. Oh my God.
SideQuest.
Yep.
SideQuest. You could sneeze at a SideQuest, and you could
And like
mechanism would break,
and
everything lost.
I have
right?
10 of them. Yeah, I have 10 of them, and it always breaks.
So the future is, in my case, and you're gonna get hate mail for this. My future is the cloud. Oh, I hate Russ. Oh, all he does is okay, because the cloud's expensive. Yeah, you got to pay for the cloud. I guess you don't have to pay for a disk drive that sits on your desk. So some people will hate me for that, but I shoot directly from my iPhone into Lightroom, goes into the cloud. I'm in the cloud. I go over to my iPad and I start working on my iPad because everything's in the cloud, in the Creative Cloud, of the Lightroom cloud. I then will do my initial adjustments to one of my images. If I'm going to convert it to black and white, I do it there. And some enhancements, and then I send it over to Photoshop on the iPad or Photoshop on the desktop for my finishing touches on most of my images. So from phone to Lightroom, Lightroom to Photoshop, and Photoshop to Instagram or Facebook. But I've almost given up on Facebook, gentlemen. I'm an Instagram maniac. It's just I don't want to see the news so much. I just want to see other creatives in action. That Behance is another nice place to put images up.
So I actually have one question regarding the cloud, Russell.
Only one question.
This minute.
Because you only get one.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I have Amazon Prime, so I got free cloud storage.
Oh, you do?
Yes. So for Adobe, can you hook up the cloud somewhere else, or does it have to be the Creative Cloud?
That was a great question. Let's see. What's your next question? The Adobe Cloud is an integrated system. So you must be in the Adobe Creative Cloud, which is on the Amazon servers. So the answer is no, that is currently not possible. You have to stay within the Adobe.
I do have the Creative Cloud membership. I just don't know if I don't have the cloud storage.
You have a 20 gigs of storage, as I recall.
Okay, with that membership?
With a membership, yeah.
With a membership.
Okay.
And so you've got that 20 gigs. You can expand on that, but of course, every time you expand that, you can go to a terabyte or 5 terabytes. And you, of course, are paying for that storage. But I was just tired of disk drives failing, and now I really feel comfortable, and I'm really enjoying that. I put anything into the cloud, and I don't have to worry about where my Lightroom photos are. I know they're all backed up. I know they're redundantly backed up. But then then you hear someone chat. My good friend Richard Benson would tell me, he'd say, Russ, he'd look me in the eye, Russ, nothing exists unless it's printed and it's on your wall.
Uh-oh.
It doesn't exist. The servers are bombed. It's poof. They're just little pixels. But I think that's a good point to make to people is print something. Put it on your wall. This is just drifting little pixels in space, and it's on your phone. I do love a great print. Oh my goodness, I love a great print. But I also love to throw things, just throw things into the web
Yeah.
and just have them there. I love the beauty of it's just there for a moment and then it's gone. It's sort of a moment that happens, and that's strange of me. That's some people say, Russ, you're just shooting low resolution. Don't you want to print that? And so baby.
Have you printed any of your work?
No, but I've been thinking about printing a book.
Ooh, that would be better.
Like an Instagram book. Take all the images.
You can do that. Yeah,
you can do that. I think that would look pretty good. But then what am I going to do with that book?
Sell it.
Yeah, sell it.
Let's make some money.
Sell it.
It's art.
But
It's your art.
it's art.
Yeah. But I'm almost ready for retirement, gentlemen.
There you go.
That's why you need art. You need someone to remember you to touch. Again, it's a print. A print, it's a tactile thing. So it's like people want to.
I just told you it doesn't exist unless you print it, and I haven't printed anything.
Well, I think it's about time.
Instagram, I'll buy a book.
Oh,
Well,
I'll have to think about that. I don't. If I did an Instagram book, I think I would go back to the original files instead of printing from the Instagram files.
Right.
I think that Instagram squishes them and squashes them and doesn't make them as good. So, I would definitely do that. I'll put that on my. You're right. I just told the audience that printing is everything, so I'm going to have to print.
we will definitely be on lookout for that.
There you go. This is recorded, so that's it. Documented.
So you guys, we went over lights, we went over cameras. I'm also hey, wait, there's more. I've gone 360 crazy as well. I'm currently teaching a 360 photography and videography course as part of Adobe Max. It's a small group. I couldn't take on a large group because I'm working closely with Rico out of Japan. Rico loaned me.
Is that a theta?
This is a theta. This is the theta Z1.
Z1, yeah.
So I said to Rico, I'd love to teach a class. Can I borrow 50 of these cameras? They're $1,000 a piece, and they had to. They're very much in demand right now because of virtual tours. Every real estate agent in the U.S. has one of these because they have to do virtual tours because you can't go to the homes anymore.
Yeah.
So they're difficult to get. I asked for 50 of them. I should have asked for more. And then they loaned them to me, and I have them, and I gave them out to 50 of my students that I randomly selected from previous. And so the students have them, and I'm teaching the class, and the classes, there are 4 classes, and one of them is tomorrow. I've never done an online course before. I only do these at Adobe Max where people sit down in the room and they take them
live.
Yeah, and for live. And so I'm going, well, how do I do this? So I split the class into each Friday before Max, and then we'll have a Friday this week, and then a Friday next week, and till the end of October.
So the classes are full right now? Or
yeah, so I can only put 50 people in the class because I only had 50 cameras. I couldn't really open it up a large group of people. But all my tutorials are online. You can see them on my Vimeo page. You can type in Russell Brown on Vimeo, and you can type on my Vimeo page. They're on. Many of them are on my Facebook and Instagram, And they're all on russellbrown.com.
.com.
Yeah. And so I think the best place is to go right to the source and go to Russell Brown on Vimeo and go to my Vimeo page, and you can see all of my tutorials on 360 photography, as well as a variety of other topics related to.
Is there video too, Russell, for your class, or just photography? Is there video or just photography?
Oh, it's all about photography.
Photography. Okay.
Not much on video, mostly on photography, still photography with
the 360
and with the phone. So lots and lots of tutorials on those locations, so you can check them out and track me down. I put the tutorials on Instagram as well. There's a way to put a longer tutorial on there, so you can watch them there. Different. I put them. They're on Facebook, Instagram, Vimeo, and YouTube. Yeah, welcome to reality. You've got to put them in all.
In all of them.
Yeah.
I've seen the Theta before, and we've used it for 3D for VFX. So when you're out in the field and you want to get a 3D environment, just put it up and just take a picture, and then now you can have a photogram of the whole place.
Yeah, that's a nice, quick way to capture the scene. It's the very reason that real estate agents use it, to walk into the home and look around and then tour through the home, going from node to node, going to the different camera locations within the space. Yeah. So I think, ask me questions because I've covered all my toys.
One last before we kind of go and close out. It's like now that everybody's closed down, everybody's doing a pandemic. Yes.
People should type in russellbrown.com, russellbrown.com /toys. Toys.
Okay.
And on that site, are you typing that in? You're typing that in on that site. What toys does Russell Brown use? It's a great location so your viewers can see what he's using, what cameras, what tripods, what gizmos. That Russell Brown.
The trinkets and everything.
Sorry.
I'm on it right now. So you have your pro photos, your monopods, your drone. Here. Yeah. That's very cool.
That is a scary page.
Mm-hmm.
Ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching.
Expensive page.
Very
expensive page.
Those are.
It's like one of those things that you can only take a peek and then hide it from the other half.
Yeah. Oh no! Just don't hide.
Anyways, going.
What?
Yep. It is.
How much? I guess we're not going to redo the kitchen, are we? Yes. Go ahead. You had a question.
Yeah, I had a question. Now that we are in a lockdown and pandemic and all that stuff, we're pretty much closed down. On a daily basis, on a good day, how am I trying to say it? What do you do to be able to express and take photographs and do your art?
So that I started to do these self-portraits, which was really interesting, and I needed to teach myself about lighting. What do I know? I looked at other famous photographers' work online and tried to mimic their work with me as the model. Okay. And so that was really fun. But I must admit, I did cheat. I'm here to tell everyone I did get out and I'm driving to places. No airplanes, trains, or or large groups. I jump in a car by myself and I'll go to locations and do photography. So I must admit, I did cheat a little bit, and I got out, but to outdoor locations and did my photography during the.
But you've got a point there, because I think now is actually the best time to go out.
Yeah, it was so quiet and so many fewer people at locations that it was
Mhm.
really nice. But then you're a little bit guilty because everyone else is staying home,
Indoors.
and you see the signs when you're out in the redwood forest, stay home. What the heck are you doing here? So a little bit of guilt comes out, but I must admit I did my fair share of staying at home those first few months, but it was just itching at me. I had to get out and drive places and see things. So as very limited, I certainly haven't had any meetings with people or connected with people. I'm just as serious about this as anyone else. I don't want to be the super spreader, and I don't want to be the person who brought it to somebody else.
Right.
And nor do I want it. I think there's a certain fear factor there that But I think I've remained healthy, both physically and mentally. But I've seen some of my cohorts that really affects them. They're not, there's no connection with other people, no meetings, no interaction. And I don't know if maybe you are one of those people, but maybe you know someone who you see them suffering a bit because they aren't able to connect with anyone. So I see some of that. And Adobe announced that we would stay in lockdown until July
of next year.
Next year.
Oh, okay. Wow.
So what the heck am I doing here? I think I should go move someplace where I've always wanted to live. And then, can't you be anywhere? Did you? Oh, yeah. Couldn't you be? You could be anywhere. I think there's some rules and regulations about Adobe employees. You have to stay within the time zone. I don't think you. Yeah, I think there are some rules, and there are also some rules about taxation, living in different locations. But I think it's happening. I know some people who got out of the cities. I think getting an apartment in a city right now is a buyer's market instead of a seller's market. So things like that are happening. But I think your question was, I think I'm staying creatively sane with lots to do. I think I had more to do and more focused in this pandemic than I've been before. I think there were too many distractions. I think you're at home and you can get creative, and if you need to be creative, you'll find a way to be creative at home.
Yeah. And so that will be kind of like essentially would be your message to our viewers as well. Can you add to that?
A message. Ooh, I forgot
to our Filipino photographers, our Pinoygraphers. What would be your
young photographers, designers, creatives?
Not necessarily young.
Yeah. Oh, okay. We've got creatives in your group, and I'm here to inspire them. Ooh. Have I been inspirational yet?
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay. What are our words of wisdom is just do not sit on your butt. And don't wait for the phone to ring, and don't wait for a job to come along. And it's always been the same since I was a kid, is give yourself assignments. And I've assigned myself to become a photographer. learn about strobe photography and portraiture. What? So I've given myself this assignment to learn this as much as I can and take photos and experiment, and never be afraid to post something. Trust me, everyone will tell you if it's, most people won't tell you if it's bad, but they will tell you if it's good. So it's a good testing ground. Experiment, experiment, experiment. And wow, this is the time to do it. This is the time to create that portfolio that you've always been wanting to create. And I think self-assignments can lead to some really fantastic career possibilities. I'll leave you with this one that I once heard back in college. I'm trying to remember the gentleman who was doing the in college, but this is a classic saying, is, and it's so true. It's so true, 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 true. These words, fall in love with what you love to do. It can be, making dinosaur models. Fall in love with it. So you become the best at making dinosaur models, and someone is going to pay you to do it. It can just choose anything and become the expert at it, and then show people that you're the expert at it, and they'll come find you. I've seen this. I heard this, years and years ago, and it's so true. And so, Russ, how do I become a better Photoshop user? How do I improve in Photoshop? Where is the school that I should go to learn Photoshop? That was me slapping them on the face. Your school's right there at home. It's just doing more and more Photoshop work. It's like learning a new language. You just have to immerse yourself in the language and ignore your other languages, and you'll learn it soon enough. You'll become an expert at, more and more of an expert at Photoshop. Here I want to learn about photography and strobe photography. I just have to be taking 20 different portraits of myself every day. But maybe I can use my age as an excuse. But if you're under 40, you can't use your age as an excuse. You have to just get out there and really do it. And I heard two things in the keynote speeches at Adobe Max. I heard two photographers, same word, obsession, obsessed. They both said they became obsessed with a project, and to the point of insanity. And there it is, someone like Annie Leibovitz became obsessed about her photography. And we even saw our producer, now see my brain stops when I'm in these interviews. We saw another interview today on the Adobe Max site. Wes Anderson. And a beautiful, stunning presentation he gave. And he had an obsession. He was obsessed with his work, and he lived it and breathed it. And that's, I think, the message that you have to become you. And you can't worry about what others are going to think about it. You just have to do it and have fun. If you're having fun at it, wow, keep on going. Yeah, I think is that a good? I think that's a pretty good.
That's pretty good.
That's gold.
That's gold.
My system, the machine just told me it was going to shut down. Hold on, excuse me. I want to know why my machine's about to shut down. Okay.
Maybe you're running out of battery, Russell?
No. Let me just hide a few things and figure out what's going on. Okay, I stopped it. I don't know. Maybe it was on some sort of timer. Yeah. No, I think I'm not sure why. But we're cool. I'm cool. No problem. No rush. Yes. And so more questions or is that my closing?
That was a closing statement.
Oh,
yes.
Wonderful. Okay. I can't outdo that one. Let's end with that statement about
Yes, sir.
and motivation and obsession. If you tell people you're obsessed with something, you are on your way to success.
Yeah, like we said, it's gold.
Yeah.
Yep. It's awesome to meet you, Russell. I hope
It's really great. It's really
I'm
great.
going to follow you on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube and Vimeo. I hope you follow us back. But,
I need more followers. I'll look for you guys. I was just thinking that, but I probably don't have you linked. I'm Dr_Brown. I could have had Dr. Brown,
Right.
but I was so tuned to the world of, everything. You couldn't use a space. You can't use space. So I put in the underscore when I first started my site. Isn't that weird? And then I checked whether Doc Brown was available, and it was.
good.
So
yeah.
So Dr_Brown.
When did Doc Brown or Doctor came about? That's like the last question.
Yes.
A friend of mine started calling me Doc, and I'm not quite sure. Yeah, and it just stuck, and then people would refer to me Doc Brown. It also relates back to Doc Brown in Back to the Future.
Back to the Future.
And of course, I dressed up as Doc Brown. And Christopher Lloyd and the movie. And so I think that sort of played into it, that sort of scientist, crazy man combination. But I think it started with a friend who started that whole.
So you're not an actual doctor. You're not an actual
No.
I thought you were.
That's why we call it Doc Brown, D-O-C Brown. I think that's safe, and it's not even though I did put DR in my name. No, I'm not a doctor. I do not have a doctorate, but let's just let everybody believe I do.
I was gonna go to you for consultation, but anyway. Great meeting you.
A doctorate. I have a doctorate in Photoshopology. There we go.
Well,
Awesome.
That's about everything we have, I guess.
It's a wrap.
Yeah,
And,
it's a wrap.
Thank you so much. It was fun.
Thank you.
And
thank you so much.
Thank you for giving us your valuable time, Doc Brown. Yep. Thank you for giving us your valuable time. This is awesome. Our audience will love this. This is rare, and this is like really a privilege. So thank you for giving us your time.
Cool. Now, do you officially go away, or do I actually disconnect?
Yes.
Okay, I'm disconnecting. Gentlemen.
All right. Thank you so much.
See ya. Bye.
Okay. Bye, Russell.